best unit in the NFL, I'm going Ravens secondary. And yes, I am. I mean, year 13 of me overrating the veteran injured player. In this case, it's Jaire Alexander. But I think the Ravens would have been up here anyway. By the way, it's funny for someone that cares about, the whole and everything and in the totality of the group, how much like a Frank Ragnow retirement or a Jaire Alexander signing changes things in my brain. I might fall victim to overrating the individual player, but the Ragnow retirement really hurts the Lions O-line because they go from one question mark to two.
Yeah.
In the Jaire signing, again, I'm viewing it as a high upside play here, but it's the rest of what they have with Kyle Hamilton, adding Malachi Starks, having Marlon Humphrey, having Nate Wiggins. I just love the depth and versatility of this Ravens secondary.
Yeah, I think it certainly has the potential to be one of the best units in the NFL. The versatility as well that they have is crazy. I mean, we talked about it before. The ability they have to move around players to accommodate injuries, right? And those things happen all the time. But Marlon Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton, the ability that both those guys have to effectively play the slot, but also play a different position within the secondary is huge, because it means whatever happens, they've got somebody that they know can play within nickel and dime sub-package defense without diminishing the rest of the defense. And there's not that many teams where that's true. Like the Ravens can lose an outside corner, they can lose a safety, and they can lose a slot corner. Any of which is fine because the other guy can fill that role. That's not true maybe for any other team in the NFL. Like, yeah, if one guy went down, you could maybe make an accommodation, but like the Ravens can lose any of those positions and immediately have an answer to it within the same defense.
The other thing when I'm looking at these, there's a guy like TJ Tampa who I thought when he came out 2 years ago, cornerback out of Iowa State, could have gone as high as the second round. They got him in the fourth. There's depth there with a Tampa who I still think has some upside. There's Chidobe Awuzie, who has not been great in recent years, but is still a good buy low. And so there's a process element to this where I think the Ravens have attacked this extremely well. Coming into the offseason, I would argue a couple of weeks ago I said CB2 was their weakness. In reality, it's one of the three starters, right? So it's not that Marlon Humphrey or Nate Wiggins is a weakness. It was finding that third starter. And they essentially attacked that with a returning TJ Tampa, a buy low on Chidobe Awuzie, and a buy low on Jaire Alexander. So process-wise, like one of those three guys should hit, with, again, Humphrey's inside-outside ability, Wiggins on the outside, and then the two safeties, Hamilton and Starks.
Yeah, I mean, the pieces are there for this to be spectacular. The question marks are, Jaire Alexander's been banged up, has played like 50% of the snaps in the last couple of years. Chidobe Awuzie has been declining in the last couple of years. He's gone from being a good, capable starter to being an average starter to being a below-average starter, basically sequentially in the last few years. If that continues, he might be a problem going forward, but he's, I think, capable of bouncing back, and that might just be variance that happens to be, stepping down. And then Malachi Starks, the rookie, who we don't know if he's going to be good yet. Everyone loved Malachi Starks generally, but rookie stepping in immediately, it's always a question mark, right? So the pieces are there, but we don't know how it's going to go.
By the way, this always looks better on paper in my mind than maybe how it plays out. But if you wanted to play matchups, remember around draft time how many times I made the point that I was wondering if Malachi Starks, if teams might see him as a corner. Recently during summer scouting, I was watching Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik and reminded of the great interception that Malachi Starks had against him in week 1 last year. Man coverage, where he goes up, attacks the ball in the air, high points it. I mean, Malachi Starks has some man coverage chops. We know Kyle Hamilton can do everything. And as we mentioned, Humphrey is an inside-outside threat. I don't think there's a team in the NFL where if they really wanted to play one-on-one, matchup, man-to-man basketball-style defense, have the different body types and pieces to be able to do that. It doesn't happen around the NFL all that often, but the Ravens have that from a game plan-specific standpoint. If they want to go week to week and play to the man coverage strength of their safeties, who also have to play free safety and strike. They have to play normal safety, but if they want to, man up with those guys, the versatility that they have with this group is really incredible. So I like the depth. I like the way they bought low on some pieces, but also the upside of some of the younger players. and the stardom of Kyle Hamilton. So it's the best unit in the NFL, Ravens secondary.
The other thing about them is they're a draft prior's crush dream because, like you said, a load of people love TJ Tampa this year. A load of people love Robert Longerbeam. Bilal Kone was one of my favorite sleepers in this draft. So they've got a whole bunch of these lower round, late draft type guys that a bunch of draftniks loved. So you can talk yourself into the Ravens, even outside of the guys they have at the top that are just at the bottom end of the depth chart. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.